This is Kim with Mom's Creative Moments. Welcome back to my channel. In today's 101.5 lesson, I have pulled out my pens. It's been a long time since I've experimented with using pens in my albums. I did it when I was on a more frugal budget, and pens are perfect for augmenting your layouts and not having to add paper. So if you're looking to create a page that is not going to be heavy, not going to have a lot of extra paper, not going to have a lot of extra embellishments or foam squares, use your pens. It's easier than you might think, and I'm going to show you in the next few videos for the 101.5 series how you can use the Creative Memories pens to do some fun things in your albums. And we may revisit this in the future too, because I think it's fun to experiment, and we need to do that more often. So let's check out my desktop, and we will get started on that. Okay, so recently I was reminded of the fact that when I started scrapbooking couple decades ago, more than that actually, about 25 years ago, that because my budget that I could spend on this hobby was definitely different then. My lifestyle was different. I had babies at home, and I didn't have as much time. I didn't have as many resources. I started kind of trying to think about, okay, when I scrapbooked differently, what were some of the things that I did differently? And one of the things that I don't do as much anymore, but I'd like to kind of get back into doing more often, that I did back then, was I used my pens for things. I used my pens a lot more, and I can hear people out there going, I don't use my pens, I don't draw, I have a hard enough time writing, because I think as an advisor, that is the one thing that I get more comments about than anything. When I tell someone they need a journal, they need to write the stories down next to their photos, they immediately say, "Can I type it?" I can see you nodding your head and saying, "Yep, that's me. I'm the one. I'm one of the many." Okay, so that's not what we're talking about here. What I'm talking about here are writing your titles or doing decorative things on your pages to create borders, to accent things. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. In fact, in many cases, if you can draw a straight line or a reasonably straight line, or even just use a ruler, you can do this. So I hope that you'll stick around and watch the rest of this video and the next couple of 101.5 lessons, because we're going to talk about some different things that you can do that are very simple but look fancy and really nice in your albums. I thought I'd share with you a couple of examples from my children's albums. So this is my son Michael's album, and I just thought I would share this. This is an old pocket page. It had two pockets that went all the way across, and this is his baby album. And I'm sorry I didn't take the page protector off, but I'm sure you can see this, where I just followed a curvy line that I penciled on there so that I could see where the arches were. And I just wrote cards, and put a little heart with 3 dots in between it. I don't know if you can see the heart with 3 dots because it's not showing up super well on camera. That's a little bit better. But it's very simple, and yet it tells exactly what's going on that page. This is a page that has his well wishes and cards on it from his birth. This is a page, super cute, where I told a story. Where we took him to go horseback riding when he was, I don't know, I think like 9 months old. And we did other things when he was when he was only 2 weeks old, we took him to the Black Forest because we were living in Europe at the time. So I again used that same little wavy kind of pattern, and I actually told the story. I went on a car trip with my family when I was only 2 weeks old to the Black Forest. I flew in an airplane first when I was 8 months. My first bear was Patches. Oma bought him for me. And so just kind of a cute little way to write your story, to write your journaling, just to go ahead and follow a little line and make the border, or in this case, extend the border around the page that way. So just really cute. We're not really going to talk about borders today when I get to actually showing you with my pens, but I just wanted to share some of these things. So this is just a regular, you know, he was playing in his, it's actually meant for sandbox in the back, but we filled it with water. And I didn't have any really big splash stickers. I had just these little water drop type things. So I used my pens and I wrote splish splash, he's the captain of his ship, and just made the letters look cool. You can make your letters look cool just by printing them carefully and then adding dots where the lines end or where the lines come together, depending on the, it's usually where the lines end, but like on the P, there's a dot on the top, a dot on the bottom, and a dot where the loop comes and meets the staff. So, you know, just experiment and see what looks right to you. But you can make your writing look super cute and fun just by adding a dot. Kind of cool. All right, so I'll show you some more from the other books in the next couple of videos. But today, let's get to sharing some samples and actually showing you how to do it. So if you have one of these pen rollout things, the pen holders that CM came out with in the dot fabric, this is super fun and a good way to organize your pens, the ones that you like. And of course, I like the Roy G. Biv kind of fashion of doing it. But if you don't have this, you can use the boxes. The 5x7 boxes are great for storing pens. This is my favorite way to access my pens. And this, so I have one that's generally for my dot tip pens, although I have a few of the extra dual tip pens that came with my rolling carrier, the roll-up carrier. And this one holds my micro tip pens and all of the rest of my dual tip pens. Okay, so and when you start collecting them, you'll find you have a whole bunch too. I've got some samples in here of the stained glass that I taught everybody to do not too long ago, and so I'll just move those. I have actually, there's going to be a video coming up. This is a little teaser. There's a video coming up where we found at my crop this past weekend some new variations that we can do with this. So I'm grateful for my ladies that attend my crops and for their encouragement to experiment. We all worked together and came up with several different varieties that I'll share with you in another video later. Okay, so the first one I wanted to show you, and I'm going to just grab some scratch paper here just to show you kind of how it works. And I suggest that you practice. Practicing is a wonderful thing in this, or with this. So the best thing you can do is just grab whatever is your cutout from a layout. It doesn't have to be white paper, it can be anything. Grab it and just jump in with both feet, okay? So I've got a dual tip pen right here. I'm going to use the, let's see, I want a dot tip pen. I need a dot tip pen and a dual tip pen for this. And actually I'm going to use this one, and I'm going to use a metallic one, and I'll show you why when I get there. So we're just going to make a letter, and this is just to give you kind of an idea of how you can make a title on your page. The dot tip pens are fantastic. I feel like they're one of the tools in our CM arsenal that we rarely take advantage of. We're just going to make a letter, and we're going to use dots to create the letter. If that makes you nervous, use a pencil and draw the letter on here with your pencil first. And then you can follow the, I'm so sorry, my throat has been doing this a lot lately, just sort of getting spontaneously dry. I think I have allergies or a cold or something. Anyway, so we're going to just draw our letter with our dots, and we're going to press down fairly strong with the dot because we want a big dot. So use your dot pen and go try to make your line straight. My line's a little wonky. Okay, go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to make that dot a little bit bigger. And then we're going to make an R, okay? So we're going to make the curved part of the R. Then we're going to make the line that comes down. Okay, so just like that, R. Now I'm going to put my lid back on. I always try to put my lid right back on when I use my pens, so I don't write all over creation by accidentally bumping into things, but it's also, I feel like it preserves the pen. Now you're going to use the lined part of the pen. You're going to start at one of the junctures in between the dots, and you're going to just visualize a little bit of a border between the dots and your line, and you're just going to draw in an arch around part of the circle, part of the dot. And you're going to go all the way around. So we're going to start here, and we're going to go all the way around, all the way around the dots, like this. Wouldn't this be cute to use these letters as your title? We can do fun things with a Cricut. We can do fun things with sticker letters. But I think sometimes it's nice to just create your own. And sometimes it's good to be able to do fun things like this when you don't have the money to have those products. Those products are cool, don't get me wrong. But we can make fun things without spending a lot of money, right? These pens are $4, so not a lot, okay? Now we're going to do a little bit of shading on this, and that's what makes it really jump out. We're going to use a metallic pen to do the shading for a couple of reasons. If you have some of the metallic dot tip pens, you may have noticed that the journal end of that pen is a little bit wider than your typical writing or your typical journal end of that pen. Can you see the difference? If I put that over the white, you can definitely see the difference, right? So we want a little bit wider line, and so that's why I'm using the metallic one. We're going to start on the inside here, and we're going to just draw right along the line, and we're only going to go around part of this. We're not going to do the whole inside. We're only going to go to here, okay, to right there, because we're just shading one side. Remember when we did this in high school? I don't know about you, but I would cover my books with paper because my teachers required it. Now they don't have books to cover, but I would cover my books with paper, and then I would draw on them. Did you do that? This would have been such a cute way to draw. We used to practice making bubble letters and block letters and all kinds of fun things. And when you do these end circles, you want to kind of lift your pen gradually so that the ink fades into the fine line, okay? But that gives you the definition, or the depth, kind of, that you're looking for. Then what we're going to do is we're going to jump in here with the silver, and this is, again, the silver dot tip pen, okay? And we're just going to put a little dot in the upper right hand corner of all the big dots that are in here. Try to get it in roughly the same place for all of them. It doesn't have to be exact, but generally that upper right hand corner. And it just gives it a little bit of an accent. You can do that for any letter of the alphabet. And I realize that the outer line is a little bit hard to see. So let's refocus it so you can see better. What do you think? Obviously using darker colors works best, and sometimes with the dot tip pens, the journal tip comes out a little bit lighter than the dot. So just keep that in mind when you're choosing your colors and what colors you want to use. And also try to keep in mind if you have a wider tipped pen, because you definitely need a wider tipped pen to kind of accent what you're doing. Okay? All right. Let's see, are we focused? There. All right, let's do another one really quick. Oh, and I'll show you another one that I did. So I did that one, and I also did this one. So you can see how adding some of the extra works really well. I did not add the little extra accent dots on these two, but I think it is a nice addition, although it's hard to see on camera. Anyway, just some other ideas. So let's do one more, since it looks like our time is kind of getting away from us. I love this one, and I want to show you how this one is made. By the way, I did not come up with these ideas. I don't want to take credit for these ideas. These two ideas I'm sharing with you and actually doing a sample for you are ideas that I got in one of those videos that just sort of came across my Facebook feed one day, and I thought, oh, I could do that. That's not that hard. I can do that. So, you know, just play around and see what you can come up with. But I'm going to show you how to do this one. All right. I'm just going to move a couple of these a little bit out of the way. All right. So we're going to use Post-it strips. And these strips are roughly, they're about 5/8 of an inch wide. Okay. And we're just going to place them kind of helter-skelter. Okay, remember that word, helter-skelter. All right, so we're going to just do, it helps if you have a word in mind. I'm just going to do my name because my name only has 3 letters, so that will make this much easier, much faster to show you. Okay, so I'm putting 3 pieces of paper, one for each letter of the word that I want to write. All right, then what we're going to do is we're going to select a pen. I'm going to select this brown pen right here, and we're just going to draw a couple of lines through. That's not very dark, is it? Maybe I'll select a darker pen so you can see what I'm doing. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, let's do this darker one. And I'll try to follow this one that I already made. All right, so you're just kind of going along, okay? You don't have to follow any kind of a pattern. You just sort of draw the lines in. All right, then you're going to choose a green. We're going to use this green right here. This is a dual tip pen. I'm going to use the journal end of this dual tip pen, and I'm going to come in here and just like I did on here, I'm just going to make some loops, some big loops like that. Can you see that? And I'm just going to kind of try to make it look like a vine. Leave your post-it notes on there while you are working on this, okay? Make some that are both sides of the vine, make some that are just one side. You don't need them to be on both sides necessarily. You just need kind of a variety, okay? And I would say you probably only need to add some space kind of in between each one. And just kind of make your loops, okay? It's just an oblong loop. Start at the stem, go out, loop it back, okay? Then we're going to choose some flowers to make, okay? We're going to choose, I like the wider petals on my flowers, so I like the metallic pens because, again, they make a little bit wider petal. And so you're just going to come in here and make 5 marks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, and I'm just sort of squishing mine down just ever so slightly. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And do the same color but on every other side. Like each time you are on another side of one of your post-it notes, move to the opposite side of your vine. Okay? Give each flower 5 petals if you can. And down here where I've got a lot more space, a lot more room on my vine, I'm going to go ahead and add a couple extra flowers. Remember our rule of odd numbers, so you can see I've got 5 purple flowers. Now I'm going to come in here and let's add some blue flowers. Where did that metallic blue one go? Here it is. We're going to add some blue flowers to this. So I'm going to come over here and add a blue flower. And again, we're going every other side. Sometimes it can be hard to make your petals all have an even amount of space, but you can do it. Just practice. Okay, so let me see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So an odd number of flowers. That's what we want to see, right? Then I'm going to find my yellow dot pen, and I'm going to come back in here and just do a dot in the middle of each of these flowers. And depending on how hard you push down on that pen is going to determine how big of a dot you put in the middle of your flower. So if you don't want a huge center to your flower, then just don't push as hard and you'll be okay. All right, now we're going to take our sticky notes off, just like that, right? And I'm going to come back in here with, let's see, we'll use the red pen because I like red. All right, and we're going to draw some letters. So I'm just going to draw my name. So I'm going to just draw a K. And I'm going to just put lines on the ends of my letters. Do you see that? This is another kind of font that I used to use when I would write my own titles. You just draw block letters and you put little tiny dashes on the ends of your letters. Like that. What do you think? I think maybe I should have leaned my letters so they were going with my vine. That's what I did on this one, and I like it better that way than this way. But it's an opportunity to share an option with you, so that's why I did it the other way, just to see what it would look like. All right, so I hope that this is something that will give you some ideas. I'll be back with other ideas for using your pens and doing lettering in future 101.5 pen, what are we calling these? Pretty Penwork videos. So I hope this is something you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if it is, so that I know that I should continue and give you some more ideas. All right? Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you have many more creative moments. Make it a great day.